Hara, welcome back to my channel, to Bewitched Reader. So I'm going to do my January wrap up, and I read 5 books, 5 and a half technically, because I did read half of this other book but I didn't finish it, and I'll go ahead and show you that book, which is King of Scars. Jessica and I ended up getting busy, and we prolonged our buddy read for King of Scars to the first half of this month, and in the second half of next month we still plan on doing Rule of Wolves. So the live show for that, which will be on Jessica's channel, Lady Love Said Read, should be next month. It should be sometime March. No promises, but it should be. And you should subscribe to her if you have not already. She's a great booktuber. So, so I did read. Yeah, I'd say I read half of it in January, because I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm over halfway now, but I'm pretty sure that was at the beginning of this month, or it might have been at the end. Actually, I think I read all. I haven't read this book at all this month, have I? Okay, so yeah, I read over half of it last month. But yeah. I hope to finish it next week, because this weekend I am planning on doing a lot of reading, and I totally forgot to grab one of my books. Of course I did. But I plan on reading 2 books this month, or this weekend. But yeah. Anyways, so I read over half of that, and I read first read of last month / this year was this Bewitched in Oz, and I loved it. I rated it 5 stars. It was just so good. It's kind of my mind just went blank. I almost said Wonderland. I was like, nope, wrong fairy tale. Well, I don't think this is technically a fairy tale, but you get what I mean. Oz. This is a Wizard of Oz kind of. I wouldn't say retelling, because it's not really retelling. Like, they mention Dorothy in here. It's more of a continuation, I guess you can call it, because like the thing that happened with Dorothy is all in the past, and this is a new story, but it's still in Oz. It follows Ziri, Green Apple, who has magic, and she practices her magic with her 2 best friends, Tabitha and Vashti, and her crush's little brother Brink. And then flying monkeys come, but magic's illegal. That's why they have to keep the magic training a secret. But then flying monkeys come and kidnap Tabitha, so they have to go and try to. So Ozma's the one that this was earlier in the month, so my brain's not working today. Ozma is the queen, and she outlawed magic, so they decided to go to Glinda the Good with the Glass Cat, who is their guide, and to hope that Glinda will be on their side and want to convince Ozma to ban that, and then be able to save their friend Tabitha. So that's what they're doing, but then there are flying monkeys after them the entire time. But then there's this huge twist at the end of it, and I'm just like, what? But I won't spoil what the twist is. But then I also read the sequel shortly after, and it was also really good. The sequel is about it's all in Ziri's point of view. But here it's still mostly in Ziri's point of view, and you also don't see Vashti and Tabitha that much, except for the beginning and end, although they are mentioned throughout. But they all have to separate and go on different journeys to defeat the villain. But Brink was kind of kidnapped at the end of the first one. That's not the big reveal, but it is that a cliffhanger the first book left off at. And but I'm trying not to reveal the big reveal because I don't want to reveal it. It's a huge spoiler. But so Ziri has to go underwater, and if she doesn't go, this clock she has is a timer kind of thing where if she doesn't get back to land at a certain amount of time, she will um, lose her tail and will drown. So Ziri's trying to get to the villain underwater fast enough, and she's the key to stopping her. And she's also trying to save Brink, who she ended up realizing in the second book that it was Brink she likes, not Ned. So she's trying her hardest to get to Brink. But what I did like that they started having Brink's point of view as well. He's the other character's point of view they had. I mean, it was still mostly Ziri. It would be like Brink's point of view, and then several chapters of Ziri, and then we'll get more of Brink, and the Glass Cats try and help him figure out a way to escape, and he does, and he figures out a way to escape, and then him and Ziri are reunited, and they do leave this book off with a potential for a third book, but they never made one. And I wish they did, because I want to see more, because I really did enjoy this duology. And then my other 3 books of last month was rereads. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. It's so good. I always enjoy reading Harry Potter. It's just such a good story. And I've also came up with some Harry Potter related videos while rereading that I'm excited to do. So apparently I'm going to make this Harry Potter series on my channel, which I am all here for, because I am a huge Harry Potter fan and nothing's going to change that. So I'm excited to do those Harry Potter videos. I know I have one planned where it's top 10 things the books did better, and I also have a video planned where top 10 things the movies did better, because while reading this book in particular, I noticed there was a couple things I actually preferred how the movie did it than the book. And that's very rare, as you guys could tell. And there's but there are some things that the movies actually did better. I mean, Harry Potter is like one of the best book to movie adaptations. Yeah, the book is still better, don't get me wrong, but Harry Potter is one of the better of the book to movie adaptations, because a lot of them ended up sucking. I know a lot of people have problems with Percy Jackson because of that, which I do plan on finally reading Percy Jackson this year, and Heroes of Olympus. When this year, I'm not sure, but this year we'll see if I can actually get to it, but I hope so. So I enjoyed rereading Harry Potter and Chamber of Secrets, because Chamber of Secrets has always been one of my favorites. I feel like it's also the most underrated. Like, this is the one that I feel like a lot of people say is their least favorite, and people bash on it, and it breaks my heart every time, because Chamber of Secrets is it's one of my favorites. Deathly Hallows is my favorite, but Chamber of Secrets is probably second. I love Chamber of Secrets, and I feel like it's very underrated. But yeah, so I enjoy rereading it. I will be rereading Prisoner of Azkaban soon. This month it will be I'm buddy reading the rest of the Harry Potter series with a couple of booktube friends of mine, so I'm excited for that. I always love rereading Harry Potter, and I'm so excited to reread Prisoner of Azkaban, because this is when Lupin gets introduced, and Lupin is like one of my favorite characters, and he's very, very underrated, and he deserves so much more love and appreciation in the books, in the movies, and in fans' hearts. Like, seriously, I'm a huge Lupin fan, if you cannot tell. But I love rereading Chamber of Secrets. You also get to see more of Jenny, who is my favorite female character. For those of you that did not know, Ron is my favorite male character. And I feel like Jenny gets overshadowed a lot, as well as Lupin. And she deserves so much more love, because she's amazing, and I love her. But yeah. So I enjoyed rereading this, and I'm going to enjoy rereading the rest of the series, because I've always been a huge fan of Harry Potter, and that's not going to change. Next is, so I reread Great Bear Lake, which is the second book in Seekers, and I love rereading it, and I tapped it a lot. This is when, I mean, the first book I also love, and I also love this book, but this at near the end of this book is when the series really starts to get good, because this is when Khalik finally joins them. So they are now all four bears are now together and completely whole, and I just love it. And I love their friendship, and I love the series so much, and I enjoyed rereading it. And when Lusa and Khalik met at the end of the book, I got so excited. I was like, yes, because I love their friendship. I mean, I love the friendship of all four bears, but I feel like Lusa and Khalik just completely hit it off from the very beginning, and I love it. And I feel like it was very helpful for both of them, because Lusa was the only girl in the group at first for a while, because Toklo and Yujak were both boys, and then Khalik was also alone. I mean, her and Toklo, I feel like, went through the most out of all four bears, but Khalik, I feel like he went through even more. I mean, she watched her mother die, then she couldn't find her brother, and then she found a mother figure who ends up dying right before her. She was kidnapped by Fat Faces and put into a metal bird, an airplane, but she calls it a metal bird because they don't know what it is, and that's one thing I love about this series. But and the metal bird crashes. That's how her mother figure was killed, and then she finally finds her brother, but then it's not the reunion she hoped for, because he kind of turned to a jerk because he thought his sister had died along with their mother, and so yeah, she went through a lot, and so I feel like they both needed their little friendship they formed, and I got so excited when Khalik wanted to join their crusade, and Lusa immediately was like yes, and Yujak was also like yes, because he also started liking her, because she helped them with their big thing. They had to save one of Lusa's new black bear friends, and I loved it. I loved the end, and I read it really fast because it was just very entertaining. It always is. And then I also read the third book in Seekers, Smoke Mountain, and so this is the first book where all four bears are really together the entire time, and I loved it. There were some really sad parts, like Lusa gets really injured at one point. Takik is in this for a little bit, only the beginning for a few chapters, well, more than a few chapters, but he isn't in that long. Takik is Khalik's brother. He joined them at first, but then he didn't feel like he belonged, and after he found out about Yujak's power, he especially didn't like Yujak, but Khalik felt like she did belong for the first time in a long time, so they ended up parting ways, which really broke Khalik's heart, because she finally found her brother only to lose him again. Like I said, she goes through a lot. But, Khalik and Lusa hit it off at the very beginning. They're always hanging out, talking, laughing, and just being there for each other. And Khalik is also the one that saves Lusa when she's attacked, when they're trying to run away from some flat-face contraptions. And, so, Khalik saves her, but, and Toklo and Yujak double back to help her because they realized that Lusa was hurt, and Khalik was trying to save her and save them both. And Khalik was so fierce, like Flat Faces started coming near her, but Khalik wouldn't leave Lusa, so she was like growling at them like she wasn't afraid. And I love Khalik. She's my favorite character. But Lusa survived, obviously, and I loved it. I just really enjoy rereading this series every time. I love it. I love the series and the characters and the friendship, and that is one thing. I mean, there's a lot of things of why I love this series. I love the adventure and the writing and the descriptiveness, and how, since they're bears, they don't know what flat faces are called, they don't know what their contraptions are called, so they all just came up with their own names for it. And because that's so accurate, because how will bears know that we call road a road? So they call it back path, and they call airplanes metal birds. And I just love how Aaron Hunter did that, because it makes so much sense. And I love the writing is beautiful, and and the characters, I love all of the characters. Khalik is obviously my favorite, but all four main characters are amazing and beautiful in their own way. And but my favorite thing is the friendship. There is some romance in here. I know at the end of the sixth book, Khalik Khalik meets someone she cares deeply about in the 6th book, and at the end of the 6th book, he ends up going with them on their journey because he didn't want to leave Khalik, and it was so cute. And I shipped them. And then the black bear cub that needed saving in the 2nd book that of Luce's friend. And at the end of the series, they end up getting together, kind of friends to lovers, although you don't see him that much except for the 2nd book and then the last book, I think. And then Tokolo in the last book meets someone who he ends up being attracted to, but you don't get to see them as much, but you get to see a lot of Khalik and Yukon because he ends up joining their group. And so after that, there is a little bit more romance since Khalik and Yukon are together, but it's still the main thing about it is the friendship, and they don't let that little romance they added at near the end overshadow the real story, the real theme about this series, which is their friendship. Their friendship is the more important thing, which I love because I feel like a lot of books do overshadow the friendship, and I feel like friendship love can be just as amazing, if not better, than romance love, and I feel like it gets overshadowed a lot in books and in TV and in everything. And I just absolutely love how this series doesn't do that. This series, the main important thing is the friendship between these 4 bears and how they love each other and will do anything for each other, will die for one another. And I absolutely love it, and I feel like it doesn't get talked about half as much as it needs to be because it is beautiful and I love it. So yeah. So that is my January wrap up, and I did alright. I didn't do much reading in the beginning of the month, but I did make up for it and got 5 books done in the second half of the month. And yeah, so I'm gonna try to read a little bit more this month. No promises, but I'm gonna try, and I'm excited. So that is all for this video. Please like and subscribe and comment how your January reading went, what kind of books you read, if you read any of these. A lot of you probably have read Harry Potter at least, or at least know the story itself, because that's very popular. But tell me if you read any of the other ones, because I would love to know. I really, if anyone has ever read Seekers and loves it, please tell me, because I need people in my life who has read and loves Seekers, because it is the most underrated series I have ever read, and one of my all-time favorites, and deserves a lot more love. So definitely let me know if you like Seekers. But let me know if you like the rest too, and we'll chat below in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys later.